We have no radiator, no headlights, no bumper. Welcome to part 25 of the Supra build. We are proudly sponsored by Grand Styling, who make automotive body parts like spoilers and bumpers and things like that, as well as DRS Canic, which are mobile remappers, and you'll be seeing a video from them pretty soon, hopefully. In this episode we will be taking out everything we need off the silver Supra before we commence work on the white one, removing its engine. So I need to get things like the engine loom and stuff like that off the silver one. I don't know what else we're going to be covering in this video, but obviously we'll just go along it and we'll just discuss it as we go along. Right, we'll crack on with this video. So here you can see the mess of an engine loom. This was already loose and undone when we got the car. It wasn't really connected to the engine. So I'm going to take all this loom out so I can connect it properly onto the engine once I've built it back up. I need to disconnect the two bolts, which are just hiding underneath there. Can't even get to them. There's one there, as you can just see. And then I need to take this charcoal canister out of the way to get to the other bolt. Inside the car, I've already took off the door trim. That just pulls off. Behind the carpet, you've got this plastic cover here with two bolts at the bottom. We need to undo them, take the cover off, and then undo all the connections on the ECU. That way then we can pull the whole, what am I after? The whole engine loop, there we are, back through the hole that I've just shown you in the engine bay. So that's what I'll be doing to start with. And we're back and we've swapped the Supras around. We have the silver one outside now and the white one's in the garage. You can see we've had to cut the grass around it and it's died. The grass has where the wheels were. It's been there that long. That one looks like a drag car now. And we've stuck the white Supra's bonnet on the top of it just to keep it dry while we work on the other one. So we're back inside the garage. We have the white Supra finally back in its home. Like I said, the bonnet is on the silver one, just keeping it dry. Well, look, there's some sort of bug. There's a bug on it. Oh, there's go off. Now it's time to start taking stuff off this. I'm only going to take off what we need to take off in terms of getting the engine out. So just things like accelerator cables, bits of loom that we need to take off. Disconnect the loom like I did on the last car and pull it through so the loom stays on the engine. Yeah, so it's time to start work on this one. And then we need to discuss this engine because I've made a startling discovery on it. But more of that to come probably in another video or in the next video. But that engine will not stay looking like that, that's for sure. We have bits on here. We got a caterpillar on the roof! We got a caterpillar! Ooh, it's on the roof! So like we've done in many videos before, we're going to start by disconnecting the air intake, which is dead easy. Disconnect that clamp just there. Take this zip pipe off the back, like that. Move that out of that bracket. Disconnect the sensor, and with a bit of a hook, that's loose. Finally disconnect the pipe, the vacuum pipe that goes near the distributor, like so, and it should now come on. Ta-ta! Probably the easiest air filter removal ever. And I dropped it. Either that's currently out. The accelerator cable. Quick spanner on there. Yeah, spanner on there with the cable off the end. Right, with that done. Here's the 12. Yeah, man, little bugger. I'll tell you what, it'd be a lot easier to work on this car if you didn't have a giant, massive engine bay to lean over. But if you didn't have a giant, massive engine bay, you won't be able to have such a big engine. Oh, it's a little pain. There we go. That's Kate one done. I'd like to say now we're getting somewhere, but we're ready now. We're not, people. We've got electrical connections down here. Let's do the camera off the stand. So, I'm actually going to disconnect everything on this side. So we're going to disconnect the lambda sensors as well. The king leads will be nice and easy to disconnect. I'll do that when I've got two hands. That comes off the distributor. I've got the cable down here for the alternator. I need to move that out of the way. And there's the plugs down there for the power steering. We'll get them disconnected out of the way too. So we'll do that now. Okay, so I realised I didn't actually need to disconnect the lambda sensors because they're straight on the engine loom, so I don't need to switch them, so I've left them plugged in. Everything else has been disconnected, so the rack's been disconnected, the alternator's been disconnected. Also, we've already took the air pipe out, the king lead, the leads that came up to the igniter. Started around on this side, I haven't done much as of yet. Moved the charcoal canister out of the way, just so we can get the engine loom and that out when we get to it. Disconnected parts of the loom here, so it's now started to remove this engine again. So I think it's about time we removed the bumper and headlights like we have done so many times before. Once we've got the bumper and the headlights out, we shall concentrate on the radiator. Apparently it's got water on it. I think we've had a leak from the roof. I think it's spider web up there. Anyway, yes, we're going to get the radiator out and the coolant out. So yeah, I'm going to crack on with that. Start off with this bumper. One day I think when I finally attach this bumper properly, it's going to take a lot longer to sleep on. I've got just clipped around in the arches and I had two tyre ups on the top. It's not really gone anywhere. It was just started falling out. Bulbs out. The bulbs come out, that's it, it's off. That wasn't hard, was it? So it's going to be the same as we've done before. Just disconnect, I'll start that again. Just need to disconnect the bolts on the nuts in these corners for the headlight and the one here. And we'll be able to remove them and obviously disconnect all the connectors on the back and the headlights will be out. That's needed to get there. You just need your 10mm socket. Got two 10mm nuts and you have the 10mm socket, sorry, the 10mm bolt further around towards the bonnet hook. There, do that one there. Then just got the electrical connectors to disconnect. While I'm doing this, I may as well talk to you. I've been doing a lot of research into the turbo that we've got. We have a GT45, which is massive, and the research says that realistically we're not going to get on boost till about 6,000 RPM. Now 6,000 RPM, far too late. I mean, it's like having VTEC and waiting right to the end for it to kick in. So I'm afraid that turbo will be no good for us. So I'm going to have to change the turbo. And some of you are going to shout and you're going to say boo. But I'm going to have to drop down to a smaller turbo. The smaller turbo is still capable of producing the same power because it's a better turbo, but it comes in at a lot lower RPM. So there we go. So yes, we're going to have to drop down to, I think it's a T7068 turbo I'm looking at the moment, or I might even look at a precision turbo, and that's be a 62, 66. So they'll both spool up about 3,000 RPM, and obviously it'll give me I have a text. And that will give me, plenty of power, because I don't want to kill my box straight away, so I'm looking to run about 400 brake horsepower to start with. So 400 brake is twice as much as I've got now, so my goal is to get it boosted, and then once it's boosted and running right, then we can start going for more power and doing obviously bigger mods to get more power and changing the gearbox again and putting a strong gearbox in. So yeah, that's what the news is for the time being. So anyway, let's carry on taking this headlight out. So the car is now up in the air. As you can see, the back wheels are chocked for safety, and we're on ramps at the front. Headlights have both been taken out, as you can see. We're back to looking like part 3 again. It's time now to drop the coolant out. So I'm going to be doing that by undoing the tap in the middle of the screen now and draining it into a bucket. Once it's drained out, I can then remove the radiator. So that's what I'm going to do now. Now there are a couple of ways for draining your coolant. You could remove the bottom hose, which is over there, but because I don't want to splash it all over the garage floor, I'm actually, if I can hold this camera steady, undoing the tap here, which does look like it wants a new seal on it, so that's not a bad thing. You can hear it, you can see it. I'll be very careful, because if I pull it all the way out, it's going to shoot miles. See, just like that. That's going to take forever to drain like that. If I go around again, it's just going to squirt everywhere. I do recommend removing the radiator cap as well, because it helps to suck the air through. You can see the change of flow then. I may come back to you when it's all drained out, because it's draining out quick, but it's going to take a while. It'll be a long video to watch this drain. Also kind of makes me want to pee. So if you want to go to the toilet, I recommend now. See you shortly. I just went mental. I just pulled the bung straight out, which was brilliant, but then it splashed everywhere. But at least coolant's coming out. So here is the drain bung. As you can see, it's all perished and split in places. So before it goes back in, I'll stick another O-ring on it. While you're at it, if you want some stickers, message us too. We have lots of stickers in stock. We also have lots of O-rings, but don't message us for them. I'm not sending you O-rings, you can buy your own. If you want some stickers, drop us a message. So here we are with our O-ring set, which we've seen in our toolbox tour. Well worth it. It cost less than a tenner. I think it cost about £6 if I'm honest. There's like 400 odd O-rings in there. The ones we've used the most are these ones on the injectors, but they're the wrong kind and the fuel still out through them, so I don't recommend that. So we need to find one that matches this one, which is probably going to be like this one. So I'm going to quickly get it replaced and then we'll have a look. So we removed the old O-ring, which is the one on the left. The one to it on the right is the new one, and it's actually a R07. You can just see there, it wasn't that one, it was the one down from it, so it's R07. And that's what we're going to replace it with. So it's nearly finished draining all its coolant. Once it's finished, I should pop the new O-ring and the little tap back in. I'm going to start disconnecting the bolts and the pipes off this now, off the top of the engine. And then we can remove the radiator out of the way. Undone the clamps on the top with the two 10mm bolts that hold them. I keep rocking the radiator forward just to get the coolant out, because the bucket's underneath the bottom pipe now. There's still a good amount of coolant in it. But, start rocking it. And bring it out, the radiator's out. Drag the bucket for the rest of the coolant. That'll be the end of this video, guys. I'd like to thank everyone for watching. This has been part 25. I appreciate your feedback and your comments. Thank you very much for all the support we've been getting over the past lot of videos and all the videos that we've done so far. We've had a lot of support over the start of season 5 so far, so please keep it up. Please give us a like, it's much appreciated, and it makes us think that you want more videos, which is always good. So then give us a like, we'll make more videos. It's as simple as that. So thank you very much for watching this video. We shall see you in another video very soon. Please check out our Facebook group and Facebook page for the latest information. Subscribe, and we'll see you in another video. Peace, dudes.